and we are going to see a few programs in how to send the values to the cloud. So that is a complete introduction of this second session. What are the protocols used in a cloud to send the sensor values to the uh, any cloud? Okay, so first we'll discuss about the protocols of the application protocols, and then we'll go for the one of the application, one of the cloud. Will take one example as one cloud as example, and we'll send the values to the cloud. So that is the intention of this particular second session. So let me present my screen over here. So I hope you are able to see my screen. So yeah. So day two, session two. It's day two for me because yesterday is day one. So one session I have taken, and today I'm taking two sessions. So day two, session two. It is for me. Day two, session two. I think it is for you. Day five. Okay. So introduction to cloud platforms. So before going to introduction to cloud platform, we'll see one small definition, and then we'll see what are the protocols we used to send these values to the cloud, and then we'll see what are the different clouds available, and we'll see one example how to write a Python program to connect to that particular cloud. So we'll take the example as a ThingSpeak cloud. Okay. So before going to that, I think from yesterday onwards, I'm seeing that uh, there is a very less response from you. So I can ask one small question that what is the discipline the people are coming from? Like it is a, is there any CSC people or any EC people, or are completely mechanical? So just I want to know anyone is from CSC and EC, like, or otherwise all are from mechanical or something like. Uh, at least a few people can give an answer like which discipline you are from. Okay, from CSC, Neha. Okay, so Gayatri from CSC. Hmm. Other people don't want to give the reply. Amruta from CSC. Amuta, yeah, Dr. S. Amuta from CSC. So I have seen all the CSC people only. So I think this session is a little bit useful for the CSC people. I didn't say that it is only useful for CSC, because whenever you are coming to the background of IoT means, definitely the people should have to know about at least minimum one cloud, because you have to store these values into the cloud. So then in that particular case, at least you should have to have a knowledge of one cloud. How many of you are having a knowledge of ThingSpeak cloud? How many of you are having a knowledge of ThingSpeak cloud? How many of you are having a knowledge of ThingSpeak cloud? Okay, so no, I think I didn't get any responses. I think very few people will know about the ThingSpeak cloud. So today we'll introduce that ThingSpeak, and I will try to make you to create the account, and I will try to send the values to your account itself, so that at least you people have some interaction. Okay, right. Before going to that particular part, let's discuss a few basics about the cloud computing, and then we'll come back to these particular protocols. What the protocols that we'll use? Same like I2C and all these things. There are some protocols to communicate with the cloud. Okay, so I hope these protocols might have known to the CSC people, but just brush up your knowledge. Okay, so let me start from here. Okay, so generally, what is the cloud part in the IoT? In the IoT, see, we are getting so much of information from the sensors. Generally, in the IoT means we are having so many devices. All the devices are connected with sensors. So that what happened here, if any device is there, that device will give some information in the form of sensors. So that device, for example, I have a refrigerator. So I made a circuit, and I keep a temperature and humidity circuit, temperature and humidity sensor inside the refrigerator, and I placed a gas sensor, like a order sensor, it will smell the refrigerator, like any bad smell is coming from the refrigerator or not. Like I have a order cell, and I have a temperature and humidity sensor, and I have a like a magnetic sensor, whether the door is open or closed. So if the door is open for a long time, then what happened here, that the refrigerator has to give some indication. I am using a small buzzer kind of thing, so that whenever the door is open for a long time, it will give a sound, a small kind of sound. So all these things are sensors and actuators, and all are going to be run by controller. So let us say that I'm using a very small controller like Node MCU. Okay, I'm using a Node MCU controller. So then what happened here? It is sending all this information from. It is collecting all the information from the cloud, and also I have a power. A power button is available. I want to switch on this power from outside. So then what happened here? This particular refrigerator should be connected to a cloud information. So otherwise, you know what happened here? We can't connect to this particular controller from outside. We are not able to control this device from the outside until unless the device is connected to the cloud. So here cloud is providing a kind of service for the people, where we can communicate to the devices with the sensors and actuators. So that what I'm here in a mobile, the people will simply open one application in the mobile, okay, and that application, and they will switch on the geyser, switch on the toaster, or otherwise you want to switch on the water heater. So water heater from the remote place itself. So whenever he's in the evening, he's coming to office and he wants to switch on the water heater before he reaches to the home. So something like that, he wants to do something which is automatic by controlling the devices. So all these things are possible if the devices and sensors, those are connected to the cloud. So that is a advantage of having a cloud over here. So the data collected by the sensor is quite huge in case of an industrial applications of IoT, and a gateway is not capable of processing it and storing it. So the second advantage here is that, so one is we can connect it from the remote location. That is a one advantage. And the second advantage is that whenever we have a large amount of data, we can able to store that large amount of data into the cloud. So simply speaking, that we need not to buy any physical system or physical laptop or any other things. Everything, every application will be provided for you. Every hardware, virtual hardware means they will provide some space for you. Like for example, Gmail is providing 10 GBs of data, 10 GB of free space for you, and some other WhatsApp is providing some space for you. So what are all these things? These are all cloud maintained services. They are providing some storage for you. So you need not to maintain anything in your system. So everything is maintained in the cloud. For example, you are storing so many photos, so many images in your mobile phone. So suddenly you lost your mobile. So that what happened here, if you are able to connect to the drive, so you can be able to retrieve all the images from the cloud. So that is advantage, because you need not to store all the images and all these things into the mobile. Even though if you lost that storage also, you can retrieve all these from the drive. So what is that drive? Drive is again a cloud for you. So something like that. Cloud will provide storage, cloud will provide remote connection, and the cloud will provide infrastructure for you. Like if you want to maintain a machine learning applications, if you want to do a big applications there where you don't have any processing, big processing unit. So in that case, what happened here, if you connect to the AWS cloud, or if you connect to some Azure cloud, they will provide the image processing applications for you, and they will provide the machine learning applications for you. So that what happened here, it is hiding all the background information. It is giving only a physical like visibility for you, and it will make all the things possible in the back end. So that is the importance of cloud for us. So the cloud is connected to the IoT gateway through internet and receives all the data fed to the gateway. And many cloud providers change on a pay per use model. What do you mean by this pay per use means? See, until unless they are providing service means it's not completely free forever. So sometimes at some point of view, at some point of time, you have to pay something to the providers. But they are not taking the charges like if you use or you not use, you have to pay everything. It's not like that. Because presently, for example, in our providers, like internet providers, so they will give monthly charges. Even though if you use the complete internet, or if you are not using the complete internet, even though if you are not available at home and you are not using the internet at all, but monthly you have to pay fixed amount. But it is not like that. Whenever you are using the cloud, for that particular transactions only you have to pay, and whenever you want you can pay per use. Whatever you used, only for that you have to pay. So this model is now adapted by all the clouds. Almost all the clouds are providing that. Azure is providing, AWS is providing, ThingWorx is providing, and IBM is providing, Google Cloud also providing. So these are all things are providing pay. How much you pay, that much you have to pay. Sorry, how much you use, that much you have to pay. Okay. So what is called cloud computing? It's a general term describing a class of network-based computing that takes place over the internet. So computing means sometimes you have to do some analysis with your data. It's not like blindly. It's not like giving everything blindly. For example, so whenever some photo is, Google is going to give some suggestions for you. How is giving suggestions? Why? Because it is tracking your data. So where you are going, last time what product you bought. So when next time whenever you are going to that particular place, it will recognize that, okay, last time you visited this particular place and you bought this particular product. So would you want to buy that product again? So something like that. It will give some suggestions for you. And if you saw some dresses, and it will immediately give some things for you. So how these analysis or everything is going on, because that is doing some computing. It is applying some algorithms internally inside the cloud, and it is giving the suggestions for you. So these are all cloud computing is done from the see here we are not using any product. Everything is done by the cloud itself. Okay, these are all it's providing the platform provides the on-demand services. Like whenever you want any service, you can choose the service, and you can make always on also. Like your drive, Google Drive, it is always on only. So whenever automatically, if you take an image, that image is automatically stored into the drive because you are making it as always on. And you can use anywhere, like anywhere in the world, wherever you are, you can make use of that cloud, and anytime, 24 hours and any place. Okay, so something like that. Everywhere and every time you can use because of the cloud only. This is possible because of the cloud storage. So these are the common characteristics, but I don't want to discuss about that. But these are the three things which are majorly required here. Service models. So generally, cloud is divided into three different service models. One is IaaS, that is infrastructure as a service, and PaaS, platform as a service, and the third one is SaaS, software as a service. So that means, for example, if you want to use storage, then what happened here, you have to buy some storage. So then what happened here, the cloud is providing a lot of storage for you. So that storage comes under a infrastructure as a service. Okay, that is providing infrastructure, but because you are not having any storage with you, the cloud is providing storage for you. So how it will provide the storage? It will in the background it will maintain some servers. That servers will act like a virtual storage for you. So something like that, it will provide the infrastructure. And the second one is PaaS, platform as a service. See, you know some language. For example, you know Python, Java, but I don't want to write these particular programs in my system. I want one operating system. So who will provide this operating system? For example, I want to maintain Ubuntu, I want to maintain Linux, I want to maintain Windows, I want to execute this one program into different platforms. But what happened here? You can't install every operating system into your system. So then what happened here? You can choose the cloud and you can request for a particular operating system. So that is platform. Operating system is nothing but platform. It is providing the platform as a service. So you want a Linux, okay, please take the Linux environment. Please take the Windows environment. Like that, cloud will provide the platform for you. So that is platform as a service. And the last one is not the least one, that is software as a service, like your WhatsApp, your Google Drive, your Facebook. All these are service which is providing through a software. So these are applications. So these are all, everything is they have written everything and they given application for you as a software. So you have to just install the Facebook, you have to just install the WhatsApp. What do you mean by that? Where they are giving complete software for you and everything they are maintaining. So the messages what you are sending, the message what you are receiving, or the photos what you are storing, and the places what you are visiting. So something like that, everything they are storing, they are giving to as a end software. So then that is called as software as a service. So depending on that usage, we can divide the cloud applications into these three categories. And also there are different types of clouds are available, like private cloud according to the deployment. For example, Google is not the private cloud, it's a public cloud. Okay, Google is a public cloud. But for example, I have my home devices and I don't want to make this particular, no, I have a company, I have my own company and I want to store my company's data in a cloud. I don't want to make my company's data into the public cloud. So in that case, what happens here, I will create my own cloud and I will do the transactions with my private cloud. Okay, there is something called community cloud. Community cloud means it's a same combination of both private and public clouds. Combination of private and public clouds. So that means few information you can make it as private, only visible for you, and few informations you can make it public, which is visible by anyone. For example, company is there. Few information which is only related to the management, they will store it separately, and few information which is related to employees, so they will publish it, like that information is published outside. So something like that, community cloud is a kind of cloud which will have some private data and as well as public data. Okay, I'm sorry, this is hybrid cloud. So whatever we discussed up to now here, it is public and private is a hybrid cloud. Community cloud means only few people, few companies. For example, all the industrial people are there. They maintain an industrial cloud. For example, they don't want to make use of AWS. They don't want to make use of some other things and some other things. They want to create a few people combined together and created a new cloud. So that is nothing but your community cloud. Okay. So generally, for example, all the apartment people, they want to store all the information about their apartments. So who are living in the apartment, whether it is a own house, rented house, how much water they are using daily, how much some kind of information they want to store. So then what happens here? They will create a community cloud. So that cloud information is available only for that particular apartment people only. They will not go outside. So that information is not available for outside people. The people who are living in the apartment only, they can able to access this community cloud. So like that, they can create their own community clouds. So like that, there are different types of cloud services are available. So coming to the protocols. Okay, so you have seen that there are three types of clouds are available. So one is infrastructure as a service. Next one is platform as a service, and the third one is software as a service. Okay, so even generally the people are also called as AAPS, that is application as a service. Okay, So this is also there, and there are some other services also comes into picture, but these are the very basic services related to the cloud. One is infrastructure, storage purpose, and all these things, storage and uh, servers, big servers like something kind of database servers and all these things. And the platform is nothing but different OS. If you want to work with the different operating systems and all these things, then it will be provided as a platform as a service. And if you want to have the applications, then it will provide a software as a service. So coming to the picture, now whatever the information is there, how you are going to send the information from microcontroller or gateway, to cloud. So this is my cloud part, this is my microcontroller part. To send this, I have to use some protocols. These are called as application protocols. Morning we have discussed here. So we have seen what is cloud. We have seen that what a cloud is having a IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, and it is having some characteristics, and it is having some storage capability, and everything we have seen. Now we will see what are the application protocols. The first one and very old one, like this is available from the long time in the sorry, it is having a long duration. So this is called HTTP, and most of you CSC people are very well known about this HTTP cloud protocol. Okay, so in this what we'll do, we'll simply put a request to the server, and the server will process the request based on the parameters what you have sent over here. So it will process the request and it will give a response. The response may be a simple text, the response may be a JSON format, the response may be a web page, response may be an image, or response may be any other JavaScript file. So the response may be in any of the form, but here it will work on the two principles like request and response. So until unless you are not requested for anything, the response will not come from the server side. I will tell you the difference later. Later, what is the difference between HTTP and MQTT? I will tell you. And the people can have any doubts, so please post your questions in the chat box. I will answer while we are taking some break. I will answer all your questions. So please have your questions on the chat box. Okay. And you know that this HTTP is having so many methods like get method, head method. Head will have address information, and the status information, head address information. All these things are involved in the head. And we have a post. We are getting the information from the browser, from the server, and we'll post some information to the server. So this is to the server. We are posting to the server, and we are getting from the server. This is incoming, and this is outgoing to the server. Like we are giving some information to the server. And there is a small difference between the post and put. Both are almost same. But post will not almost same. A lot of difference. Like post will concatenate the information. Like it will not replace the earlier information, whereas put will replace the earlier information. For example, you have one storage. It will, for example, you have one image. You are sending another image. If you write put it, then what happens here, the old image will be updated with the new image. So that is what called as put. Whereas post means you have one image and you are posting one image, means old image will available, new image will also available. So that is a small difference between a post and put. Similarly, if you want, you can delete it and you can connect to the server, and you have some options how you are going to connect, like TCP or UDP. So which connection you are using, and you want to trace messages and all these things, target resource. If you want to trace, you can trace it. So this many things are trace means like here you are sending information to this particular server. Here this is my destination. Okay, let us assume that this is my destination and this is my source. You are sending some information means it will not go directly like this. So generally, first it will go to some other server which is nearby, and then it will go to some other server which is empty or nearby, and then it will go to some other server, and next finally it will reach the destination. So tracing, you want to know how my packet is moving, whether my packet is moving from which destination how many servers it is meeting and how many servers through it is passing. So such kind of things will be done through the trace. So you can know the path of the packet. These are some results like responses. Always will not get the success message. Sometimes we'll get the received process is continuing waiting. So it is you send some request, but you are not get the response immediately because server is doing some processing. So in that case, we'll get 100 message like 100, 104, 104, 102. So these kind of messages we'll get. And there is something called 200 or 201. 201 is a successful message. Similarly, we have some 300 or 304. So these are used for redirection. So if you are requesting a old URL, automatically that URL is redirected to a new URL. So in that particular case, we'll get the information like 300. So the URL is changed like this and like this. So that is one thing. And very well known, that is 404 page not found error. So is there any errors related to the client itself? Means you are not connected to internet. What server will do? Nothing. Server can't do anything because you are not connected to internet. So you are the client. The error is with you. So then it will give a 404 page not found method. Otherwise you are giving a wrong URL. So what server can do? You are giving the wrong URL. So the error is from the client side itself. And if there is any error, server is not working, server is busy, server is not find your request. So these kind of server related errors, it will show in the 500. So something like that. Different errors will have a different number of messages response. So WebSocket. So the advanced little bit next version of your HTTP is a WebSocket here. So WebSocket means in the HTTP we are sending all the messages like open on the open port or something like that. We are getting information. We are sending the information. So if we are making this into a socket, a pipe kind of information, like there is fixed IP, fixed port, and everything is there. So here I have a fixed IP and fixed port is there, then automatically this becomes a socket communication. So WebSocket. So just we are making open HTTP communication into a closed communication. So this is your destination. Now the destination communication will be done with the closed communication. So this is generally called socket communication. So this is how things will be converted into socket. First it will give some HTTP request only. Okay. After that, WebSocket will get the it will request for the convert into WebSocket. So it is getting okay, sure, I will try to manage the keys, and it is giving the request like this, and it is going to the WebSocket. Okay, so everything is now closed connection. Okay, so whenever you want to convert into WebSocket, first you have to request the HTTP. Okay, I want to upgrade to WebSocket. Then only it will what kind of WebSocket you want, whether it is a IFNet or whether it is a radio communication. So how you want to do the WebSocket, something like that, and it will convert your HTTP protocols into WebSocket protocols. So this is what small difference between HTTP server and WebSocket here. So WebSocket in the HTTP, what happened here, you have a message like hello. It is showing some yellow color here. You have a message called hello, and even though you are having a message, it is not delivering this message to you. Why? Because you are not asking, so is there any message for me? So until unless you are requested for any message, is there any message available for me, then only the server will give reply, hey, can you have a message called hello. So what happened here, this hello, as soon as hello comes to the server will not deliver to client. Why? Because client is not requested. So it is waiting for the client to be request, and then only it will send the response. But in the WebSocket, it is not like that. As soon as you got the message called hello, it will immediately send to the hey, can you have a message called hello. So it will not wait for your request. As soon as message comes, it will pass the request for you. So that is what the advantage of socket without your intervention. Like once you are enter into the socket communication. So 24/7 you will get the messages if you are having any messages. So it is like your WhatsApp and all these things are socket communications only. I can't say again it is socket communication. Why? Because there are other protocols are there like MQTT and all. Okay, so WhatsApp is using MQTT protocol. So last but not least, there's one protocol called MQTT. So we have seen that HTTP is a one protocol and a little bit modified version of HTTP. That closed version of HTTP is converted as a WebSocket. Okay, but in these two HTTP protocol or otherwise it is a WebSocket. What is the disadvantage of these two is that the header size is 6 bytes. Here, the header size is 6 bytes. I hope my voice is reaching you. Let me check once. Yeah, it is reaching you. Okay, so what is the advantage of MQTT protocol here is that the header size of this particular MQTT is only 2 bytes, whereas header size of your HTTP is a 4 bytes. You can ask, so what is the advantage of having header size very less? Why? Because generally MQTT is used for IoT communication. What is IoT here? IoT is a collection of so many sensors. Like say when small on and off, bit 0 and 1, 0 is false and 1 is true. So there is a one small bit of information. So I want to store all this information into the cloud. So in that case, what happened here, each and every small bit of information will add some header for that. See, whenever you are sending something to the cloud means definitely we have to add some header to the protocol. So how we are sending this is through HTTP protocol or MQTT protocol. So that we are doing here. So if you use the MQTT protocol, we can add only 2 bytes of header. So extra information, what are the extra information that we are adding, like destination address, what is the destination address, what are the number of bytes involved in the message, okay? So what is the checksum of the message, something like that. So the it's not like maximum, it's a minimum 2 bytes. Whereas in the HTTP, minimum is a 6 bytes here, header, minimum header should be 6 bytes. So just imagine that I want to send the information of logic 0 or logic 1. I have to add this is a 1-bit information. So for sending a 1-bit information to the cloud, I have to add 6 bytes of header to this 1-bit information. So here information is 1 bit, but I'm adding 6 bytes. So it's not that meaningful. So in that case, we'll shift to the MQTT. Okay. So what is MQTT here is that again it is a message queue telemetry transport. Initially it was created by IBM and later it was given to the Eclipse Pahoo. So it is donated to the Eclipse Pahoo. Okay. And after that, see, this is the header size reduced to 2 bytes. And there is 3 QoS service, quality of service. So quality of service means it will make sure that whether the particular message is delivered to cloud or not. It will give some type of acknowledgement for you. Okay. So in that case, it is giving all the acknowledgement. Like every message will get some acknowledgement so that your delivery message delivery is assured. Okay. And also it is TCP based. And also it is asynchronous, and it is publish and subscribe. This is very, very important, publish and subscribe. See this topic. If you observe this diagram, you will know everything about the MQTT. So MQTT is a machine-to-machine or IoT connectivity protocol. So most of the IoT people will send their information through MQTT protocol. But in the but earlier traditional people always they use the HTTP to send their data to the cloud. But here the people who are using the IoT, they will mostly use the MQTT protocol to send their information to the cloud. And it is designed extremely lightweight. So I said 2 bytes, it's very lightweight, and it will follow publish and subscribe messaging transport. So what is the difference between publish and subscribe, request and response? So we have a request. Okay, if you have a request and response in HTTP and publish and subscriber in the MQTT. So what's the difference here is that there is a common place called topic here. There is a common place called topic. Every client, every sensor will send the information to a topic. Okay, it will not send directly to the destination. It will not send directly to the destination. It will send its information to a topic, and the devices which are subscribed to this topic will receive this information. Who will receive this information? Whoever subscribed to this topic, they will receive the information. Same like your YouTube. See what happened here, whenever you are subscribed to particular channel, what happened here, when they are updated any video, who will get that updates? Only the people who are subscribed to the channel will get the updates. Remaining people may not get the update. They have to search randomly in the Google. But if you subscribe to that particular channel, what happened here, as soon as they updated any video, you will get a notification. Okay, some particular person has updated a new video for you. So something like that. We have to subscribe to that particular topic, that particular channel. We can call it as a channel or topic. Okay, then clients will automatically receive the information. So we'll see this practically once it is available. And one more protocol here, it is that COAP. So this is of course this is not used much right now, but this is earlier it is used. Like COAP is a constrained application protocol. Generally this is used by the industry people. So earlier what happened here, industry people are they don't want to use any existing protocols. Like they don't want to use HTTP, they don't want to use the MQTT, because they want to create their own kind of format for the sending and receiving the information. So for that purpose, they created a protocol called constrained application protocol. So especially this is used by the industrial IoT people. Industrial IoT, whoever the people working for the machine to machine and industrial IoT, those people has used this COAP. This is also almost having the same request and response model, same like HTTP, and the main advantage is that it is a little bit less header than the HTTP. The header size of the COAP is only 4 bytes, whereas the header size of the other things are more than this. The header size of the COAP is only 4 bytes here. You see this, it is having the same request and response. So same like your HTTP, it will not like your MQTT, it's not like publish and subscribe, it is request and response model. Okay, so before going to see about the few cloud platforms, I want to take a few quick questions. I want to take just 1 minute quick break here, like to take some questions, to take a few questions from the users. If you have any questions, so please give your questions in the chat box regarding these application protocols. Regarding these application protocols like HTTP, MQTT, and COAP, if you have any doubts regarding this application protocol, you can have a quick questions over here. So just I will wait for 1 minute, and if you don't have any questions, then we'll continue for the cloud platforms. What are the different cloud platforms available? I hope no more questions. Okay, it's not a problem. So whenever you go through these particular PPTs later, and whenever you have any doubts, you can please contact us later. Okay, so if you are not having any questions, we'll discuss about the cloud platforms, and then we'll go through the practicals. So I will discuss about just 10 to 15 minutes about the cloud platforms, and then we'll take a short break of 10 minutes, and then we'll continue with the programming part. How to write a Python program to send the values to the ThingSpeak cloud, and how to write a MQTT protocol, how to make use of this HTTP protocol, socket communication, how to write a socket communication. So I will show all the programs, socket transmitting, socket receiving, and MQTT transmitting, MQTT receiving. So socket means it will cover the HTTP protocol, and whereas MQTT means it will cover the MQTT protocol. So I will show totally 4 programs for you. Okay, so all right. So let me go back to the PPT here so that I will discuss about the few cloud platforms, and then. So there are so many cloud platforms are available. See, we can say that there are almost 50 to 100 different types of clouds are available in nowadays. But what I want to discuss are very few things. Like one is ThingSpeak, one is UBI Dots, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and I want to take a Extans Cloud. Okay, so these two are public clouds. These two are completely public clouds, and these are full commercial clouds. Commercial clouds means these are going to be pay base. So first, of course, they will give a 1 year free service for any people to work with these particular clouds. And if you are familiar with that, once you are familiar with AWS, once you are familiar with Azure, you can convert all your applications into cloud so that you can pay something to the AWS or Azure. Okay, and these are the few things which are private clouds. Of course, initially it is private clouds, but of course now they are providing all the public information to the people. Like it's kind of not completely commercial. It's very official, but here it is the people, a small community. It is ThingSpeak is a small community, and here UBDots is a very small community. So these are a few kind of community clouds, whereas these are complete commercial clouds, and this is a private cloud which is developed with the Extans itself. So we ourselves, Extans ourselves, will develop a small cloud for our purpose, like whenever we want to give some storage applications and all these things. So we developed a very small cloud, like that is called as a private cloud called Extans. Okay. So other than this, we have something like Google Cloud is there. Okay, we have a IBM Bluemix is there. So these are very famous clouds like Google Cloud, IBM Bluemix Cloud. And we have something called ThingsBoard. So I don't know how many of you have heard about this ThingsBoard. TB. There is a cloud called ThingsBoard, and there is a cloud called Blink. So the people who are working with Arduino and IoT, so definitely those people will know about the Blink cloud, BLYNK. So this Blink is also available in the application form, and also it is available in the cloud format. So Blink Cloud, ThingsBoard, ThingsWorks, and so many clouds are available here. It's a Kayane. Then one is one of the free cloud is available, that is called Kayane, Cayenne, Kayane and ThingsBoard. These are the two free services. Like ThingsBoard is a one kind of it is available in the form of application, and as well as it is available in the form of demo, so that it is it is completely free, so that anyone can make use of this cloud, and you can send your information to ThingsBoard. And also there is something called Kayane. So this is also a free cloud for you. You can use here. And Blink it is free up to some limitation. It is not completely 100% free, but it is free up to with some limitations. If you are not crossing that limitations, you can use it for any number of time. But if you are crossing that limits, then they will charge you. Okay, so something like that. There are so many number of clouds are available in the market. So depending on your requirement, you have to choose one of them. So here I'm choosing the cloud called ThingSpeak. If anyone wants any other cloud information also, I can provide you, but not now. So like if you want any of other cloud, if you want to work with Firebase, if you want to work with the ThingsBoard, ThingsWorks, Blink, Kayane, if you want to work with any other there is something called Adafruit. Adafruit cloud is there. So if you want to work any of these clouds, so let me know. I will give the information for you. Okay. So because almost I have worked on all these clouds, like I worked on the ThinkSpeak, UVDots, ThingsBoard, Blink, Kayane. Uh, I worked on the Adafruit, AWS, Microsoft Azure, IBM. So these are all the clouds I worked on. So if you have any regarding any information about these clouds, I can give the information. Like I'm not saying that I'm completely deeply worked into those clouds, but I know at a little extent that how to send the information to that, how to retrieve back the information from the particular cloud, and I can give the information about that other services also. Because cloud is not a small topic, it's a very very big topic. So only thing is that according to your situation you will learn a part of cloud. So here also I learned about all these clouds, how to send the information to the particular cloud and how to retrieve the information back from the cloud. So these are the things that I learned. So this is the information about the ThinkSpeak. These are the different steps that we have. First we have to register into the ThinkSpeak, and then we have to create the channels and records. We have to create the channels, and then we have to identify the private keys, public keys. Some keys are available, write key, read key, some keys are available. So you have to identify the keys, and then you have to connect one sensor. Okay, you have to connect one temperature sensors to Arduino or Raspberry Pi, and then you have to send this data to the ThinkSpeak, fourth step. And fifth step is use this ThinkSpeak channel read keys to access the data from the thermometer. Accessing means to read that information. Again, we have to use the read keys. To write the information, we'll use the write keys. To read the information, we'll use the read keys. So the information sent by one person, and the information can be read by the same person, or it can be read by the other person also. So this is person 2 and person 1. So even we can send the merge channels read keys that you will use to access the temperature data. Okay, so like person 1, person 2, they can use the read keys. The next one is these are the little bit information about the ThinkSpeak. Here is that it is 3 years of free service it is giving. So what is the advantage of ThinkSpeak here is that it is giving a 3 years of free service. Okay, it will read the data from the sensors and processing and act on it. And especially it is developed by the MATLAB people. This particular cloud is provided by the MATLAB people, and it is having some good visual display of the data, like chart forms, graph forms of data, chart form of the data, on and off format. So something like that, good visual display is there. So your data is going to be displayed nicely, and we can send the mails and twitters. We can send the mail alert and Twitter alert. So some kind of a message alert and mail alert we can able to send. And 3 million messages are free for that one particular account. So one account can send 3 million messages. That means 30 lakhs of messages we can send within these 3 years of service. Within these 3 years of service, we can send almost 30 million, 30 lakhs of informations. And it's very flexible and very easy to connect to this particular cloud, and it is best cloud for the academic researchers, the people who want to do some research. Then they can make use of this ThinkSpeak cloud. Okay, so next one here, it is AWS. So this is a very very bigger one and very commercial cloud. Here it's a very top commercial cloud here, and it is almost having 175 services. I said you that cloud is providing so many services. In that, IoT is a one small service. I'm just repeating this for your kind information. A cloud is not a simple topic. A cloud is having a lots of services inside that, and we are discussing the cloud only with respect to IoT here. So other than the IoT, there are lots of services available in the cloud. So that's why So here AWS is providing almost 175 services over here. So in that we are using IoT core for our application. So if you want to send any IoT data, then we have to use a service called IoT core, and it will provide a 1 year free tier. So it will provide the 1 year free service for you, any number of messages. Okay, it will allow you to send the emails and the messages. It will allow you to send the emails and the messages. Okay, it is fully secured transaction. It will provide certificates for you, so that private key, public key, some certificates are provided for you, and it will be very secure. And once 1 year free service is finished, and if you want to still make use of this service, then you can go for pay as you go service. Okay, we can use for pay as you go service. Similarly, we can do some analytics using the service called IoT Analytics. So there is some service available here called IoT Analytics. So generally, analytics means what we have to do. We have to convert the data into data sets. I think the people from the computer background can understand that what is data set. So the the data which is going to be converted into a nice format, like rows and columns. Each and every column is having some index, something like that. Everything will be converted into a nice format. That is called data set over here. So IoT Analytics will convert this data into data sets, and it will do some analysis on that, like calculating the average of the temperature, calculating the average of the humidity, and calculating how many number of times one particular value is repeated. So something like that. Few kind of analytics we can able to do in the AWS. So this is the structure of AWS. Of course, I don't want to discuss, because at this particular stage you will not understand all these things. So this is AWS IoT main core, like from sensors, the information from the devices, the information is first reaches here, and then we'll apply some rules, and based on these rules, we can send either messages, and we can either do some displays, and either we can do some storage. See here SQL. So we can do some storage, we can do some analytics, we can convert that into a data set or something like that. We can do so many things over here. Okay. So these are the main services like AWS IoT Core, AWS Analytics, and AWS QuickSight. This is for display visualization purpose. This is for do the analysis, like average temperatures, some kind of formulas we can apply. And this is to receive the information. So once sensors are there, and we are giving the sensors information to microcontroller, and microcontroller will send the information to cloud. So that will first reach to IoT core, and this IoT core data will be converted into data sets, and it will do some analytics, and it will display it. So display means it will display in the form of graphs, in the form of bar charts and all these things. So for that we'll use the QuickSight. So this is again one Azure service. So we can use this Azure service. We have so many almost similar process, same like your AWS. But again here we are going to have these are the microprocessors like PIR sensor. We connected so many sensors over here, and instead of IoT core in the AWS, what is the service? IoT core. But whereas in the Azure, the service's name is called as IoT Hub. Okay, the service name is changed here, but almost the process is almost same. Only the API will change. How to connect that particular service, that API will change. See here, and it will do some stream analytics, like live data analytics. So it will directly convert the data into live streaming, and it will also use Power BI for display. There we are using QuickSight for display, and Amazon AWS QuickSight for display, where here we are using a Power BI for display. Okay, so with this this is a structure, same structure, but it is noted in a different way. Okay, this is UV dots and Xtrans Cloud. This is a private cloud that created by the Xtrans people itself. Okay. So right, these are the different cloud platforms that we are having. So so we'll do one thing here. We'll take a small break of 10 minutes over here, and we'll come back and we'll see how to send the sensor data to the ThingSpeak cloud. Okay, I will show how to create a ThingSpeak account and how to create some channels into the ThingSpeak and how to send the sensor information to the ThingSpeak cloud. So with that, we'll finish this particular session. But before going to that, I want to take a small break, like 10 minutes of break. You also please go back and have a tea and come back. ThingSpeak cloud. So I don't want to repeat, but just I want to remind you that 3 years of free service. Okay, so 3 million messages per year, like that we can use 9 million messages for complete 3 year service. Okay, so this is the way how you can now create the ThingSpeak account. You have to just type thingspeak.com in the web browser. Here you are able to see, like I don't know whether you are able to see this one or not, but if you open any web browser like Google browser or any browser, you can open and just type thingspeak.com in the web browser. Then it will open a page like this. It will open a page for you like this. And if you don't have any account, you just click on get started for free. If you don't have any account in the ThingSpeak, just click on the get started for free. And if you are already having the account, just click on the sign in here. If you already have the account in the ThingSpeak, you can just click on the sign in. Okay. So as soon as you click on the get started for free, it will ask some information about you, like email address, location, and your first name and last name. So it will ask a few informations about you. So you have to provide this email address, location, where you are from, which country you are from, and first name and last name. And just will simply click on the continue. By clicking on this continue, it will ask you that already you have some MATLAB account. Why? Because ThingSpeak is provided by the MATLAB people, and most of the academic people will already using the MATLAB. If what I'm guessing is correct, even CSC people also having some laboratories using MATLAB, and even EC people will have some laboratories using MATLAB. Okay, so of course, if you don't have, please forgive me if you don't have the labs using MATLAB, but MATLAB is one of the software used by the most of the academic people. So that's why it will asking that if you are already using the MATLAB account, so please use that account itself, because this ThingSpeak itself is a MATLAB account. Okay. Okay, if you don't have this, just click on this, use this email as my MathWorks account, and just click on the continue. Once you click on the continue, see, just click on this and wait. Okay, so as soon as you get this, you will get some email for you. See, if you don't have the account, enable the checkbox and use this email ID and your ThingSpeak account. So once you click on that, you will get one verification email. As soon as you clicked on that, you will get some verification email. So please open your email address first, whatever the email address that you provided here. Whatever the email address you provided here, so open that email and you will get a message from the MathWorks account. So MathWorks people, and just click on the verify email. So once you click on the verify email, then only click on the continue. See, while I'm speaking, it looks like a long process, but it's very easy process. Just you have to give only 4 lines of information. Click on continue and just check this box and click on continue and verify your email and click on continue. That's it. Your account is created. And here you have to choose this is a personal account, or if you want to use it for the college, you can choose it as teaching or research school. Teaching or research in school. So which purpose you are? This is just information that we are giving. So if you choose personal and I will use for the college purpose, means nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. But if you want to be genuine, like you want to use it for only for the teaching purpose or only for the college, you can give the information like I'm using it for the teaching and research purpose. So like otherwise you are a student, then you can use it for the student use. So something like that, you can choose one option, but I prefer to click on the personal option. Okay. So once you create a like this, you will get something called new channel. So now let me open. Already I have created the account. So if anyone wants to create account here, so just I will wait for 1 minute of time. So if anyone is interested, so you can just please raise your hand. Sir, I want to create the account. Then I will wait for a few more minutes. If no one is interested, then I will continue with the whatever the existing structure is there. I will open my ThinkSpeak account and I will show how to create the new things in that. I will just open my account and I will show you how to open the new things in that. So if anyone is interested to create the account, it will not take much time. It will just take 3 to 5 minutes, not more than that. Because if you are create your account, I will try to write the program to send the values to your account instead of my account. Instead of showing output into my account, I will send the values to your account if you are able to. Sorry, if you are create your account. So if you are not created, if anyone is not created any account, then I will use my account to send the data to cloud. Right. So I'm not saying that you have to create immediately. So if you are at least interested by the end of this particular, I think we have more half an hour time. So by the end of half an hour, you can create the account and you can show me, sir, I have created the account, so that I can send the values from here to your account. Otherwise, I will continue with my account. Okay, right. Now let me open the thingspeak.com here. So let me open thingspeak.com. By opening thingspeak.com, so just open the thingspeak.com. So let's see what it will open. Okay, so here it is open the same page what we have seen earlier. So if you want to create a new account, just click on the get started for free. So whenever you click on the get started for free, it will ask the information about yourself, so that you can simply create your information here, and you can proceed to your email, so that you will get some email, and there you can give the confirmation and create the account. But in my case, I already have the account, so I don't want to create again and again. I want to just log into my account. So here right hand side, we have a sign in account symbol here. So just click on this sign in. So just click on to sign in if you want to log into the existing account, because already I have the account here. So I'm trying to log into my account here. I will tell you once I logged in, what I'm doing, everything step by step I will mention for you. What I'm doing here and why I'm doing here. Once I entered into these particular things, sign on. I'm sorry, looks like my internet is very slow. Let's open the ThinkSpeak once again. Click on the sign in. Yeah. So here I have to enter my email ID, like what is my account here. So I'm just entering my email ID here. I think it's not. So gmail.com. So this is my email ID that I entered here, and it is asking my password. I'm entering my password also and sign in. So once I signed in here, okay, so I have to go for channels, my channels. So these are the different channels that I already have. Okay, so if anyone wants to create a new channel, then just click on this particular channel, like new channel. There is a, because see here, if you are available this is one channel, this is second channel, third channel, fourth channel. What are the channels here? So this channel is nothing but a project name. Like last time I did a project like COVID-19 counting, like how many people are coming into contact. So by using some simple PIR sensor, whenever a person is wearing a PIR sensor to his hand and is going outside, see, earlier we very strictly following that social distance. So whenever the person comes nearby that social distance, it will get a count here, so that it will count the people, number of people who are coming near to you. So it will maintain a count. So depending on that count, you will be very careful. Okay, oh, today I almost went to near to this many number of people, so I have to be very careful, I have to take precautions and something like that. So it will give some counting purpose. And there is one more project I did, like smart environment monitoring. I want to measure the temperature, humidity, light status. I want to measure like gas content, how many gases, different gas contents are available in the environment, something like that. I want to say a smart environment. So like that, we have to create a channel, which is nothing but your project name. So I want to open this. So inside the channel, see, if you are observe this, there are something called fields available. So field 1, field 2, field 3, field 4. So what are these fields here? These fields are nothing but your values. So what you want to store, like inside the smart environment, what you want to measure. I want to measure the temperature. Okay, this is one thing called temperature, and I want to measure the humidity. Here you can able to see this humidity, and I want to measure the light status, and I want to measure the gas contents in the environment. How different gas contents are available in the environment. So something like that. I want to measure a few things using the sensor, and I want to store these values into the cloud. Then, so what are the things required here? Two things. One is channel, one is fields. So remember this terminology here. I want to just take a notepad, and I want to give the information like this. So let us take this view, zoom in for format, font. Just I want to increase the font here because I want to make you to see really good. 28. Okay. Yeah. So what is the thing? First I'm not creating that, create a channel. You have to create a channel, but here I'm not creating any new channel. Why? Because already I have created 4 channels. That is the limitations of ThingSpeak here. We can create more than 4 channels. So 4 channels are maximum. That means we can create only 4 projects. We can create only 4, we can do only 4 projects in a single account. So if you want to have one ThingSpeak account, means we can take the 4 channels maximum. Okay, what is channel here? The project name, what you want to do. Next, create fields. What is this FIELD? Fields. Fields are nothing but sensors information. Sensors information, like what information you want to store here. So like you want to store the temperature, you want to store the humidity, or you want to store anything other or something like that. So you can create the fields over here. Similarly, yeah, that's fine. So once you create the channel and fields, then how to communicate to the cloud? So to communicate to the cloud, we should require something called API. So people know what is API. Means it's a kind of URL how you can connect to the ThinkSpeak. So if we are using the HTTP, you can connect through thingspeak.com, or if you are using the MQTT protocol, you have to connect to mqtt.thingspeak.com. This URL is different for different. Like if you want to use the MQTT operation, then the thing is mqtt.thingspeak.com. This URL you have to use in the program. In the Python program, you have to write this URL. Okay. So in the Python program, you have to write this URL if you are using the MQTT protocol. Okay. And if you are using the HTTP protocol, you have to write this URL in the program. In the program, you write this URL. Okay, that is good. But whenever we are communicating something, earlier we are representing that there are some keys available. What do you mean by keys here? Some security part of codes, some security codes. We can assume that there are some security codes. But where we'll get these keys? Where we'll get these keys? So let's minimize this. If you click on this API keys, so if you observe these, and if you click on this API keys, you will get something called write API key, read API key. So if you want to write something into the ThinkSpeak cloud, you can write here write API key. So you can just right click and copy here. Okay, and you can paste it in the notepad. See why I'm doing all these things here is that I can use all these things in the next program. Whenever I'm writing the next program, I will use this write key. Okay, and read key. Read key is used for the retrieving the values from the cloud, and write key is used for the sending the values to the cloud. Simply you are understanding the write key means we are writing to the cloud. Read key means we are reading from the cloud. Okay, so both are important for us. Whenever you want to read some information, you require read key, and whenever you want to write some information to the cloud, we require a write key. So other than this, there is something called channel ID is required. So channel ID. So what is channel ID? So every channel, whenever you are clicking any project, every project will have some unique ID. So that project unique ID is called nothing but channel ID. So this is my channel ID. Just I'm copying this channel ID here and I'm pasting it in the notepad. Why I'm storing all these things here? Why? Because I'm going to write a program. So in my program, I'm going to make use of all these things. Okay. In my program, I will make use of all these things. That's it. We have to use channel ID, we have to use write API key, and we have to use read API key. Okay, so these are the few things which are required. This is the API we required, and always I tell you that whenever you are using MQTT protocol, there is a place called topic. So always we have to use a topic here. So what is the topic name here for ThinkSpeak? The topic name always is channels slash channel ID, whatever the channel ID that we are having, we have to replace with the channel ID here. Okay, next publish. If you want to write the if you want to send the data, publish, and here we have to write the write API key. What is the write API key is there? We have to write this write API key. So what is this? This is called topic. So why we have to use? Whenever you are using the MQTT protocol, definitely the information should be sent to the topic, and whoever subscribing to this topic, those people can receive the information. Otherwise, they will not able to receive any information until unless they are not subscribed to the topic. That's it. This is the information about the ThinkSpeak here. So first we have to create a channel, and then we have to create few fields. We have to note down the MQTT protocol. Directly I will see the MQTT protocol only. Okay, we have to see some MQTT URL format, and we have to create some topic, and inside the topic we have to use the channel ID, and as well as I have to use the write API key. So these are the information which is required to send the data to the ThingSpeak Cloud. So now let's write some Python program here, and I will try to see whether we're receiving the data here or not. So presently, see the last time the data is received in the last time here. If you are able to see October 14th, 2020. Oh my God, I used 14th October 2020. Last October, I used this ThingSpeak account. Till now, I didn't use. Okay, so let's see. Today we'll use this account and we'll send the information to the cloud. So to write information to the cloud, we have to use our Raspberry Pi. So now let's enter back to the Raspberry Pi. Okay, let's enter back to the Raspberry Pi and write your code over here. Okay, so let me open my VNC viewer so that I can connect to the this one here, and let's connect to the Raspberry Pi. Okay, I'm connecting here. Okay, I connected to this, and let me open a new file, and I want to write a new program here. So I will not take much time. I will write to very quickly here. This import. So I want to what I want to do here. First of all, the target is, what is the target? Target means we have to write some comment over here. Okay, we have to write some comment over here. So to write that comment here, let me do one thing. Okay, so let me write comment. Comment means it we have to write with a hash symbol. Okay, so let me save this file. File save. ThingSpeak Cloud. So ThingSpeak Cloud. So let's save the program as ThingSpeak Cloud.py. Okay, let's save it on the desktop. Just I want to write the program in 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll finish the program and we'll finish the session also. So please observe the program clearly. Okay, so that you can see how to write. So what is the target here? My target is to send the temperature and humidity values, temperature and humidity values to ThingSpeak Cloud. This is my target here. I want to send the temperature and humidity values to the cloud. So yesterday we have seen a few programs like how to read the temperature and humidity. So for that we have to import something called Adafruit_DHT. Yesterday we have seen that as DHT. Okay, and similarly how to import time to read the values with some delay. I want to read the values with some delay, so I have to do a time we have to import, and I want to write I want to read the values continuously without any disturbance. So I have to write something called while true. I have to write something called while true, and here I have to read the humidity and temperature values. Humidity and temperature equal to, how to read that? Yesterday we have seen that DHT_read retry. So we have to give the what is the sensor type is DHT11, and our pin number is number 4. We connected the sensor to the pin number 4. Okay, before now I don't want to print. So okay, let's print the values also. Let's print that temperature equal to something, comma temp, and okay, and the humidity is humidity. Humidity. I want to print humidity also. Humidity. Okay, so let's print some values also. So it is printing all the things. Okay. Temperature value it will print and humidity value it will print. Now, how to add the cloud part to this? as I said earlier, to send these values to the cloud through MQTT protocol, we have to import one library which is related to the MQTT. So what is that library? So let's write one library here, import paho.mqtt.client. So this is my library, paho.mqtt.client. What is this library? This is the library which is used to send your data through the MQTT protocol. So once again, I'm repeating here. What is this library here? This is the library which is we are sending the data to the cloud using MQTT protocol. So we have to make use of some library to send all these values to the cloud. So here I'm using the library called paho.mqtt.client as MQTT. Okay. So what are the things required here? I require a channel ID. So earlier I said that there are few things are required to connect to send the data to the ThingSpeak. So I want write API key, write key or write API key, whatever it is, write key. I require a write key. Okay, and I require a topic. So earlier we have seen that what is the topic and what is all these things earlier we have seen that. So let's open my notepad here, and this is my topic for ThingSpeak. See, this topic is different for different clouds. See, MQTT protocol is same for all the clouds. Any cloud can be connected through the MQTT protocol, but the topic will be changed and these keys will be changed. So ThingSpeak is using channel ID and write API key, but like AWS is using some certificates, Azure is using some secret key. So something like that, different clouds will use different security tokens. That tokens will be varied from the cloud to cloud. Here, this particular thing will be used these things. So let's print over here. Let's print that one, whatever we copied over there. So let's print this. Okay, but what happened here? It should be within the. Oh, I think so. Yeah, it should be within the double quotes. Okay, so that is also fine. But what happened here? These two are not the values. These are these two are not the strings. These are the values. So whenever we have a values, we have to concatenate the values. What is the channel ID here? This is my channel ID value. Okay, and concatenate. Just concatenate it. Okay, publish, and this is my write API key. So just concatenate my write API key and write key, otherwise write API key or write key. We can say it as write key. Okay, so this is not required in the last. Yeah. So this is my topic. I written that, but what is the channel ID value? I don't. Earlier we noted down in the notepad. Let's copy the channel ID value, write API key values. So this is my channel ID value. Just copy this and paste into your program. Edit, paste, and also paste your write key value. So this is my write key value. So copy this and go to here and paste. Oh my God, let's see, it will not paste. Copy. Okay, right. So both channel ID and write API keys are pasted. Now topic is written. But how we are connecting to server? Because cloud is also a kind of server. So we have to connect to some API. So earlier we have seen that what is my API for MQTT. So the server address is mqtt.thingspeak.com. So let's write that server address in the program. So I want to connect to the server address. Otherwise we can call it as a cloud address. Cloud address equal to. So what is that address here? It is mqtt.thingspeak.com. So this is my server address. And what is the port number? See, always whenever we are using that MQTT, we have to use a 1883 is a one port number and 443 is the other port number. So either we can use 443 if you are using the very highly secured communication, and if you want to use the normal security communication, it is 1883. So ThingSpeak will provide only write key security, so that's why we'll use 1883. For AWS, we have to use 443. Okay, so of course for different communications we'll use a different ports over here. So this 1883 is a common port for the MQTT, same like your 80 is a port for the TCP communication, 22 is the port number for the SSH communication. So same like that, 1883 is the common port for the server communication, like MQTT communication. Okay, now let's create some client. So this is my MQTT client here. I'm creating that MQTT dot client. So why we have to create a client here? Because if you want to connect to the MQTT server, first you have to create some client instance. So here I have created some client instance, and this client instance I have to connect to the server. So how to connect that? Client dot connect. We can write simply client dot connect. Here we have to provide the server address. We have to provide the server address. Okay, and also we have to provide the port number. Okay, now client is connected. That is also very fine. And okay, now I want to send this to the information to the cloud. So how to send this information? First we have to get the data from there. So data, what is the data equal to here? Str of, like, we'll do one thing because we have fields here. Last time we have seen that every data has to be sent to the cloud over here. So how we can send the data to the cloud here is that we have to write field1 equal to, okay, field1 equal to, I want to send the temperature, which is converted into string format. Okay, similarly I want to send the field2. I want to send only two values. One is field1 temperature. Field1 has to, I want to send the temperature, and I want to send the field2 humidity. So what I'm doing here is that I want sending whatever the values we are reading from the sensor. I'm reading the values of temperature and humidity from the sensor, and I'm trying to send these values to the cloud. That's it. So I want to concat this temperature and humidity here. Okay, and then I'm trying to send this value. How to send that? Client.publish. So earlier I said that to send the values we have to use a method called publish. Where it is publishing? Topic. What is my topic? Earlier I have decided the topic, and I want to publish the data to this particular cloud. So excuse me, please give me a minute. Please give. Okay, welcome back. Like here, so I'm using this client.publish, where I'm publishing to the topic. So earlier I said that whenever we have any MQTT, definitely we have to create a topic, and for that topic only we have to publish the data. So this topic will be changed for cloud to cloud. For ThingSpeak cloud only, this is the topic, and for other AWS cloud topic will be changed. For other things like UB.s, topic will be changed. For Adafruit, topic will be changed. So like that, from cloud to cloud, the topic will be changed over here. And the data that what I want to send here is, one is temperature, I'm sending into the field1, and humidity I'm sending into the field2. So let's take some gap of 15 seconds. Why specifically 15 seconds here is that to update the values to the ThingSpeak cloud, it will not take the values before 15 seconds. So if you are updating one value to the ThingSpeak cloud, means definitely you have to wait up to the 15 seconds to send the next value to the cloud. Okay, so by seeing this, you can understand that what are the things that we can do. So like 15 seconds gap. Why you have to give the 15 seconds gap? Why? Because if you are sending the values continuously, the ThingSpeak will not receive that values because it required minimum gap of 15 seconds between one value to the other value. Okay, so now let's save this program and run. I don't know whether it will run because I completely typed here itself. We'll see whether it will run or not. But anyhow, if it is not run, I will correct it out. Don't worry about that. Okay, we are running. Topic name is missing, like it is. Right key is not defined. Right key is not defined. We'll see what happened to right key. Right underscore key. Right underscore key. What happened to right key? Right key is defined, no? WRITE. Okay. I have written W capital over here. It should be small here. So here we have written W small. So here also we have written W small. Okay, let's save this and run the program. Right key is not defined. RI underscore key. What happened to right key? WRIT underscore key also K capital. Spelling mistakes. Okay, right. Okay, now it is receiving the values like temperature 27 degrees and humidity 68 degrees. So let's wait 1 minute. We'll print one value also, like values are updated to cloud, something like that. We'll print some value also here. Because once it is sending the values to the cloud, we have to write here. We'll just print that value sent to cloud. Just will print that values sent to cloud. Okay, next just we'll save this and we'll execute the program again. Okay, let's execute it. So now temperature is 28 degrees and humidity is 69% and values sent to the cloud. So now let's observe that whether these values are received the cloud or not. Let's open my ThingSpeak old account. Where is my account? Here is my account here. See here, you can observe clearly that temperature is 27 degrees, February 23rd, 10:27. Of course, in my system, the time is 10:27. Here you can see that the right hand side corner, my system time is, I think wrong, it is 23 February, 10:29 it is. Okay. Of course, it is the time is here, it is wrong. So that's why it is showing wrong timing and all. But anyhow, it is matching with the system time. Okay. So it is updating the values to the cloud very clearly. So here it is 10:27, 46 seconds, and the humidity is 68. The value of humidity is 68. So something like that. It is updated the values to the cloud. So this is the way that how we can able to send the values to the ThingSpeak cloud. Okay. So briefly speaking, what we did here. So we will simply write a Python program. Okay, we simply written a Python program to connect this particular ThingSpeak cloud. Okay, to connect this ThingSpeak cloud, we written a simple Python program using the MQTT protocol. So these are all things not you have to just keep practicing. Like first you have to practice with sensors, and then slowly you have to add the cloud part to that particular thing. And here different clouds will have different API key. For example, if it is a UB dots, the API will be different. If it is a AWS, the API will be different here. So this address will change depending on your particular cloud. So, but the procedure is same. The procedure will not change. Only this address will change, and this port number will be changed according to your situation, and instead of channel ID and write API keys, other clouds will have other tokens like secret tokens, otherwise something called class IDs. So different clouds will have different tokens. Okay, and the different clouds will have different topics. So this part from here to here, things will be changed, and remaining all are same. Only for any cloud, you have to change these five things over here so that you can connect to the any cloud. It may be AWS, it may be a Azure, it may be like UBI dots, it may be Adafruit, or it may be any other clouds. So depending on your cloud structure, you have to change these things and you can connect to the particular clouds. So that is a overall target of today's session over here. So very nicely we send the values to the cloud, and you can observe these values in the cloud. So that's why I ask you to create the account. If anyone is already created the account, I can send the values to your cloud also. Okay, but anyhow, these are the things we have. Okay, so let me conclude the session over here. So what we have seen up to now, and what are the things you learn from here. Okay, these are the different. See here, each and every step I clearly mentioned how to create the account and how to make a note of create the channel, how to view it, how to everything in the screenshots. Everything I clearly mentioned here. You are